Hello, good evening, and welcome to NTA Parliamentary News. I am Rina Obasi. President Muhammadu Buhari unveils 2050 development agenda for implementation.
The plan we are launching today has a vision of a dynamic, industrialized, and knowledge-based economy that generates inclusive and sustainable development for the country.
Senate receives an amendment proposal of the Finance Bill 2023 by President Muhammadu Buhari.
Excise, fiscal, and other relevant laws.
Plus, difficulties of Nigerians in Sudan in focus as the House of Representatives summons Minister of Foreign Affairs alongside relevant agencies. Executive Council meeting at the Presidential Villa in Abuja. State House correspondent Jide Onifade reports.
This note, Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is now my honor and privilege to formally unveil and launch the next long-term development plan for Nigeria, the Nigeria Agenda 2050 for implementation. And God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
President Muhammadu Buhari says the unveiling and public presentation of the Nigeria Agenda 2050 marks yet another milestone in the annals of history of the nation's planning experience post-independence.
It has also shown our administration's commitment to planning and plan implementation since we assumed office on May 29, 2015. The plan we are launching today has a vision of a dynamic, industrialized, and knowledge-based economy that generates inclusive and sustainable development for the country.
The President, on December 22, 2021, launched the first National Development Plan 2021 to 2025 that would be used to implement the long-term plan. Council on March 15, 2023, approved the Nigeria Agenda 2050 that is being launched now by the President.
The broad target is to ensure that Nigeria attains a per capita GDP of $33,328 United States dollars per annum that will place her among the top middle-income economies in the world by 2050.
The President applauds the steering committee led by the Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed, for delivering on the important national assignment. He is confident that, given the measures already in place for continuous implementation, successive administrations will find the document useful in the delivery of electoral promises. In the State House, Jide Onifade, NTA News.
Again, President Muhammadu Buhari has written to Senate seeking consideration of the amended 2022 Finance Bill for the 2023 fiscal year. National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Nkwo reports that the President also sought Senate's confirmation of the reappointment of Abike Dabiru Erewa as Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission. The report.
38 days to the end of the 9th Assembly, governorship and state assembly elections are over, and senators are now back to the chamber. Legislative business commenced with executive communications. The amended Finance Bill 2022 led the pack.
Pursuant to sections 58 and 59 of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, as amended, I formally request that the amended Finance Bill 2022 should be considered by the Senate for passage into law. You may wish to recall that I was unable to assent to the Finance Bill 2022 presented to me on 30th December 2022 due to various reasons. At that time, I directed the Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning to engage with the National Assembly to review key areas of concern and produce a consensus amended Finance Bill 2022 that harmonized the respective views of both the executive and the legislature. Accordingly, the resulting amended Finance Bill 2022 produced, pursuant to this reconciliatory engagement, remains materially aligned with the annual Finance Bill 2022 that was considered by the National Assembly. The amended Finance Bill 2022 presented to the National Assembly today seeks to support the ongoing implementation of the 2023 federal budget by proposing key reforms to specific taxation, customs, excise, fiscal and other relevant laws, specifically the bill's provisions. Enhance tax equity by bringing more economic sectors into the tax net and ensuring a fairer distribution of revenue receipts to all tiers of government. B, support job creation through sustained economic growth in partnership with key international development, finance institutions, and other multilateral agencies. C, increase funding to for the education sector through the Tertiary Education Trust Fund. D, propose minor but essential reforms to enable the Board of Directors and Governing Council or the Ministry of Finance Incorporated to fulfill their respective mandates. E, implement important corporate tax incentives reforms. And F, enhance revenue generation and administration through various fiscal measures. I trust that the Senate will, in their usual expeditious manner, consider and pass this bill into law.
The Revenue Mobilization, Allocation and Fiscal Commission, Ayoagu Eze, Enugu State, Peter Opara, Imo, Hawa Aliu, Jigawa, Tanko Haruna, Kebbi, Ismaila Muhammad, Kwara, and Kola Wele Abimbola, Oyo State. Senator Uche Ekwunife drew the attention of the Senate to what she described as delay in the issuance of Nigerian passport, as Senate resolved to investigate the matter.
The Senate knows that the delay in issuance and renewal of the Nigerian international passport by the Nigerian Immigration Service nationwide has caused untold hardships for the Nigerians who need to travel out of the country or return to the country. The Senate further notes that the Nigerian passport is an official identity document that affirms the bearer's citizenship and is issued to Nigerians primarily for the purpose of traveling out of Nigeria and returning to the country in exercise of their rights to personal liberty and freedom of movement. Many Nigerians are still facing long waits for passport processing, despite the 6 weeks timeline of processing a passport given by the federal government barely a year ago. Presently, new applicants and those who want their passport renewed spend between 3 to 6 months processing their international passport applications at the offices of the Nigerian Immigration Services and Nigerian embassies outside the country. Mr. President, the Senate observes that getting an appointment for biometrics capturing at the passport offices now takes between 5 to 8 weeks. After biometrics, many applicants still spend more than 4 months waiting for their passports to be ready for collection. It has also become extremely difficult for passports to be processed across the entire Nigerian immigration offices in different states, especially Lagos, Port Harcourt, and Abuja, thereby forcing the applicants to travel to different locations just to get their passports renewed. Our international students are equally finding it very difficult to renew their passports to enable them to travel back home to unite with their families. Mr. President, I have just one prayer. The Senate resolves to mandate the Senate Committee on Interior to urgently investigate the circumstances that led to the delays in the issuance and renewal of the Nigerian passports by the Nigerian Immigration Services and report back to the Senate within 2 weeks.
Contract for the printing of Nigerian passport should be investigated because some of the delays are caused by lack of the material, the booklets.
The bill that seeks to establish the National Council for Christian Education, which seeks to regulate and set standards, sponsored by Senator Binos Yero, and the Nigerian Data Protection Commission Establishment Bill by Senator Ibrahim Gobir, passed second reading.
Religion wrongly applied and practiced is what has polarized our nation and breed extremism and hate.
To ensure that the processing of data, subject information from jurisdiction outside Nigeria.
Senate resolved to intervene in the intended warning strike by aviation unions as it urged the Minister of Aviation to put on hold planned demolition of Aviation Agency's headquarters in Lagos, pending the legislative intervention from the National Assembly. Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, celebrates Nigerian journalists on the occasion of the World Press Freedom Day. In a statement by the Special Advisor to the President of the Senate on Media and Publicity, Ola Awoniyi, Lawan says journalists have made immense contributions to the socio-economic and political of Nigeria and deserves appreciation. He explained that promoting press freedom also ensures human rights to freedom of speech and opinion, adding that is the reason the 9th National Assembly has ensured in the past 4 years that no legislation under its purview tampers with these rights. The Parliament of the Economic Community of West African States has pleaded for clemency from the United Kingdom's court for the convicted former Deputy Senate President Ike Ekweremadu. Entering the plea of leniency, the Speaker of the Parliament, Dr. Mohamed Tunis, appealed to the UK government to temper justice with mercy. The ECOWAS Parliament described Ike Ekweremadu, a ranking senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, as a major asset to the ECOWAS region. The body affirmed that the convict remains a priceless resource and his long absence owing to his circumstance since June 2022 has denied the region his invaluable service. It is on this note that the Parliament pleads for clemency. Ike Ekweremadu, his wife Beatrice, and a medical doctor have been convicted. The trio are waiting their sentencing slated for 5th May 2023. Ike Ekweremadu was the third Speaker of the ECOWAS Parliament. The House of Representatives has resolved to engage the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, National Emergency Management Agency, and the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission over difficulties in the ongoing evacuation exercise of the Nigerians in Sudan. The House observed that some of the difficulties are as a result of disagreements arising from overlapping of mandates as well as absence of operational guidelines for such circumstances. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports.
Resuming plenary after the Easter and Eid al-Fitr break during which the war in Sudan broke out, the House blames overlapping mandates and absence of operational guidelines for agencies on such circumstances as responsible for the difficulties in evacuating Nigerians trapped in the war-torn Sudan.
We must further revisit the statutory and other frameworks that have left us seemingly unprepared to respond promptly and effectively.
Meanwhile, the House has urged for clemency as the criminal court in the UK is set to sentence Senator Ike Ekweremadu, urging the federal government to intervene.
The Central Criminal Court, United Kingdom, and the government of the United Kingdom to tamper justice with mercy in sentencing Senator Ike Ekweremadu and Mrs. Beatrice Ekweremadu and the doctor with them.
The judgment of the court may take into consideration the Ekweremadu's history of honorable living and distinguished service, their contributions to a better world, and the possibility that, given a chance, through the penitence of service, both Ike and his wife can yet atone for their failings and find forgiveness.
The House also resolves to investigate disbursement of $700 million cabotage fund as raised by Henry Nwauba.
The matrix, procedure and condition of the disbursement of the cabotage vessel finance fund is obscure and not transparent and not wholly in accordance with the Coastal and Inland Shipping Cabotage Act of 2003.
The lawmakers adopted another motion from Muhammad Al-Ali on the need to investigate the processing of passports by Nigerian Immigration Service and the Ministry of Interior.
As of January 2023, a total of number of 3,106,065 passport booklets remain outstanding to be supplied from the 2015 contract by Measures Iron Smart Technology Limited ISTL.
The motion from Ibrahim Halims urging the suspension of concessioning of Ajaokuta Steel Company and the Nigerian Iron Ore Company was supported by members.
The 11th hour request for the concession of these two strategic national assets by the ministry at the twilight of the current administration seems to be self-serving, unpatriotic, and not of national interest.
The call from Uime Idem urging the inclusion of hospitals and road projects in Okanafun, Akwa Ibom State in the 2023 budget of the NDDC also received their blessings.
The non-completion of the project has brought untold hardships to about 40 benefiting communities.
15 bills were read for the third Simon Pass, including the bill seeking the establishment of the National Commission for Almajiri and Out-of-School Children. The Speaker brought to the notice of members the President's request to amend the Finance Bill 2022 to support implementation of the 2023 budget. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
Still to come, the race of 10th National Assembly leadership gathers momentum as more groups call for zoning formula. Details shortly after the break. Welcome back. In case you're just joining us, we are on NTA Parliamentary News. Senators-elect from the North Central Geopolitical Zone are canvassing support for the position of the Deputy President of the Nigeria's 10th Senate. The group, while briefing Senate correspondents on the struggle, explained that the seat of the Deputy President of the Senate is the least position the zone deserves. National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Onkwo reports.
The race for the presiding officers of the National Assembly has continued to generate more interest, and the yet-to-be-announced decision of the ruling All Progressives Congress on the coveted positions has also increased the suspense. Senators-elect from the North Central are relying on equity and justice to demand for at least the seat of the Deputy President of the Senate. They have presented Senator Sani Musa from Niger State as fit and qualified for the office of the Deputy President of the 10th Senate. Senator-elect from Nasarawa West Senatorial District, Ahmed Wadada, made the announcement.
That the chairman of this caucus is Senator Sani Musa, and we agreed amongst ourselves at that day that whatever comes to North Central goes to Sani Musa because we are a united family.
Like my colleague have said, we are clear in the North Central that we want equity and fairness, and as a zone, we expect that the distribution of the leadership in National Assembly will be shared equally, and we have made our choice. But it's important to note that in North Central, we are the center of gravity of Nigeria.
Those aspiring for the office of the President of the 10th Senate include Senate Chief Whip Senator Oji Uzo Kalu, APC Abia, Senator Jibrin Barau, APC Kano, Senator Godswill Akpabio, APC Akwa Ibom, former Deputy Senate Leader Abdul Ningi, APC Bauchi, and Senator Abdulaziz Yari, APC Zamfara. Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
A group known as Joint Task 10th National Assembly has resolved to abide by the decision of the majority members of the All Progressives Congress in deciding which geopolitical zone produces the next Speaker and Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives. Chairman of the forum, Usman Bello Kumo, stated this at the inauguration of the multi-partisan group in Abuja. National Assembly correspondent Vivian Idibefo reports.
The driving force of this multi-partisan group, members say, is Nigeria's unity and the stability of the 10th House of Representatives. The group is guided by capacity and competence as members embark on the search for leaders who are ready to work for the betterment of Nigerians. Their objective is keeping to the legislative-executive balanced relationship.
As we are aware, our colleagues have declared their intent to vie for these offices. These our colleagues are members of eminent, they are qualified, they have good behavior, but rather as a group that we vow to provide maturity in the conduct of our responsibility in the 10th Assembly, that cannot be negotiated. It is on this note that I want to draw the attention of the country that for now, as we are seated here, we are not promoting any particular individual as a candidate, and we are not fighting any particular candidate as an individual.
For somebody like me who is part of the opposition, I want to assure Nigerians that there will be productive and robust opposition in the National Assembly. But we will do that in a way and manner that will add value to the Nigerian people.
The Joint Task 10th Assembly comprises 8 political parties with common interest in the next leadership of the 10th House of Representatives. From the National Assembly, Vivian Itekpefo, NTA News.
The House of Representatives Committee on Federal Roads Maintenance Agency has expressed dissatisfaction with the pace of work for the construction of Kano Field Office of FEMA. The committee has, however, urged the contracting company to redouble efforts or have the contract revoked. National Assembly correspondent Mohammed Rabiu Ali reports.
The construction work of Kano Field Office of the Federal Roads Maintenance Agency, FEMA, was awarded in 2020 with the completion period of 3 years. Paucity of funds resulted for the slow pace of work, as explained by the contractor.
Yes, sir. So the first year, I think about appropriation was 50-something million.
Members of the House of Representatives Committee on FEMA, led by Ahmed Kalambaina, however, faulted the contractor for not doing the needful.
The contractor promised to finish the job by now, although the time for the completion is for 2023, but he promised to finish in a year to come, and it's almost a year, and you can see it's almost 35 or 38% done, which is not impressive.
I've been on the contractor, and because of the slow progress, it's been having slow progress for some time, and of course we have written the contractor and we have informed our headquarters on this.
During the oversight function, members also inspected the completion of Sabongida Jai Road, rehabilitation of Sharada Police Station Road, as well as Sharada by Yahya Gusau Road.
It was okay. I don't think the only problem was to call for the community to make sure that they evacuate these refugees in the drainage so that there will be no overflowing during the rainy season, and it will make the road to last longer.
Other projects carried out by FEMA in Kano State are expected to be completed in the next couple of months. From Kano, Muhammad Rabiu Ali, NTA News.
The Abia State House of Assembly has suspended the Deputy Speaker Ifani Uchendu and 8 other members on the alleged purported impeachment of the Speaker Chinedu Orji on the ground of not providing their welfare. The suspension was announced during the Tuesday plenary session of the House. Nena Igwe reports.
The Deputy Speaker of Abia State House of Assembly, Ifai Uchendu, and 8 other members have been suspended on the alleged purported impeachment of the Speaker Chinedu Orji. While addressing the newsmen after the preliminary section, the Speaker described the purported impeachment as illegal and baseless.
They want me to always be at loggerheads with the governor of the state. And I said, as far as I'm concerned, I don't need to always be at loggerheads with him over their own welfare also.
With these developments, member representing Ohofia North, Mandela Basinao replaces the suspended Deputy Speaker Ifai Uchendu, while some sections of the media had earlier reported that members of the State House of Assembly voted to impeach their Speaker, Chinedu Orji. The purported impeachment was said to have been carried out by 9 out of 24 members at an undisclosed location. From Umahia, Nena Igwe, NTA News.
With that, we wrap up our news this evening. Thanks for being part of it. From the entire production crew, we say thanks for your time. I am Rina Obasi. Remember to watch us on the channel scrolling on your television screen. Good evening.